I just don't want him coming in like during it, you know?
Tell him to sit in his car. Tell him to sit in his car for 20 minutes. Be like, just sit there and think. Just sit there and think about how I can be a little bit more interesting today.
Throw in some sauce.
I love Sam. Dude, that kid hits like 95 off the tee.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He's talented, man.
You talking about Crick?
Sam Knight. Both of them.
Really?
Yeah, Sam Knight.
So we got a lefty and a righty hitting 95 off the tee.
Yeah.
Why aren't we making prodigies over here? Oh, wait, we are.
We are. We are making prodigies.
What's that?
Go ahead and start.
Okay, sweet. Welcome, everybody. We are excited to get this podcast rolling. We've been talking about this for quite some time here. These first few episodes are definitely going to be about getting to know our coaching staff, seeing how we're helping youth athletes in the northern suburbs area of Minneapolis get to their next level in their sport, which is baseball, and in life. Building their confidence. We're definitely going to be showing and showcasing players that have gone through our program the last 2 years and are doing big things out there. So we're excited. We have one of our main hitting coordinators, actually main trainers on staff here for Complete Athlete, Mason Price, on with us today, and we're super excited to have him on.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here. Excited to be a part of the first episode of
the first. You're lucky, man. Yeah, you get to be on here like
I'm very lucky.
Doing your thing. You got your coffee.
Yes, sir. I feel honored, man. I feel honored. I'm ready to go for this podcast. I'm ready to go.
Sweet. Yeah. No, and we're gonna keep this pretty short and sweet, but mainly just getting to know you, man. Like, tell us a little bit about yourself, like your background as a baseball player, kind of where you've been, where you started.
Well, first of all, I'm 25, so that makes me like in the middle range for our age of our coaches. We got a couple young guys, a couple older guys.
You calling me old?
No, I'm not calling you old. We're definitely, compared to other companies, other baseball training organizations, we are definitely younger, I would say, than most of them, which I think that is a good thing.
That's actually been a big topic. The last 6 months, we've kind of just been talking about.
We've heard a lot of parents mention that and how they like that. So, sorry, old guys. It's our time. No, but that's just a joke. But anyways, so a little bit about me. Again, I'm 25 years old. I am a coach and a trainer for Complete Athlete Training, of course. I do a lot of hitting stuff, but I've done the pitching, the fielding work. And one of the main things that I wanted to bring to this organization is my passion in the mental side of sports, you know, the sports psychology realm and how it relates to, you know, just being an overall complete athlete, but a complete person in general, because that's something that we're always going to talk about is we're not just trying to build better baseball players. We're trying to build better humans in general. And, a huge part of that is the mental side of things. So I went to school for psychology. I focused a lot on sports psychology at the U of M. And that's, you know, sort of what I'm bringing here. And about my baseball career, I've played my whole life. You know, I've played since I was 4 years old. My dad, I've been lucky enough to have my dad as a coach through most of those teams.
Yeah, when did you start? Where did you play at?
I started when I was 4 years old, T-ball at Coon Rapids National Little League. Shout out Coon Rapids National Little League.
The premier.
Yes, sir. Here. Yeah, it was a great organization. Had a lot of great volunteer coaches, including my dad, that really helped prepare me for the next level. Little League was at Coon Rapids was great. I had some of my best experiences there. I hit a lot of home runs.
Heyo. Which park did you play at? Because I don't know where National played at.
Riverview, I think it's called. Okay. Riverview. It's kind of hidden back there.
I know exactly where it's at, because when I went to Epiphany, we would randomly practice there because we had like 6th, 7th, 8th grade teams.
Okay.
And whenever we didn't have like an open field, we'd go over there.
Over to Riverview. Yeah. It's a nice ballpark. I had a lot of good memories there. You know, playing for the All-Stars and the opportunity to go to Williamsport was always really fun, but you know,
didn't make it.
We didn't make it. We had a lot of pressure on us after the 2017 went, and we were 2 years behind them, and we were.
Wait, that was my year. Like who?
2007.
Yeah. So like Cody
Herman, Tanner
Lucas
Lau.
Peterson.
Yep. Our producer Taylor Price knows a lot of these guys well.
I played with Cody at AR briefly, He was there for a brief stint. So.
Yep. No, it was a great team right there. They had a lot of good coaches. Coach Cleveland, Dan Cleveland, he was one of the coaches for that team that went, and then he ended up coaching us as well. And
Luke's dad was one of the coaches too, Peterson.
He was one of the coaches for the team that went to Williamsport, but not for us.
Different team.
His oldest son, actually, I think. Forget his name. Taylor, do you remember Luke Peterson's older brother's name?
No, I know who he is. I forget his name. Is it Doug? No, Doug's his dad.
Doug's the dad's name. I forget. Whatever it is, man. He was the assistant coach, and he was a younger guy, and he was super cool. I remember him throwing like 80 miles per hour to us 12-year-olds. Yeah,
he was probably in his early 20s then.
Yep, and he was all about throwing us cheddar in the cage, making us ready for these some of these kids from Curacao or something like that.
Venezuela, Dominican.
Exactly.
The Japanese kid who's throwing real hard.
We would have 4-hour practices where halfway in between we would have a lunch break where the parents would literally bring us fruit and sandwiches and stuff. They treated us like professional players. They really wanted us to go back to Williamsport.
Absolutely.
And we
gotta get in that mindset.
We didn't make it happen. We lost 6-4 to Plymouth New Hope, which was the team that ended up going.
Okay.
And one of my fondest memories as a baseball player was in that game. My dad, I don't know if this is, I think stealing signs is okay, right? As long as.
Well, in all honesty, like all the stuff that's going on in Major League Baseball right now, I'm kind of like, it's taken away from the fun in general. Granted, we know what the Astros did. We know it was wrong. But, like, you still see guys relaying signs at second base in some way or another, adjusting their hat, It's
part of baseball, right?
Yeah.
So my dad could see the catcher's signs, right? And he said, if I yell your number out, that means he's throwing a curveball. And, again, this is the team that ended up going to the Williamsport that year.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he calls out the curveball for me while I'm at the plate, and I hit a home run. And it was kind of a cool father-son moment. Even though we lost the game, it was very high-intensity game. It was an important game, and I hit a home run with my dad helping me out. So
that's awesome.
That was really cool. Yeah, that's a lot of great moments in Little League that I could talk about for days. But
seriously,
anyways,
I didn't get that opportunity. I left Little League when I was.
Yeah, man.
I know we talk with parents.
We talk about this all the time. I'm very passionate about how much fun I had in Little League and the opportunity to go to even just thinking about Williamsport, Little League World Series. I feel I feel bad for the kids in Spring Lake Park and Blaine who not I don't want to crap on.
It's not even
Blaine Little League.
Not even that. It's all the Little League system.
Exactly. It's getting bad out there, folks. It's getting bad. The Little League out here is just not sustaining the the level.
It's more so the development though. Like you said, you had coaches, whether it was your dad or Cleveland, the guy that you're telling me about. You had seasoned coaches who knew what to do, knew what to teach you at practices. And the problem is now, like, they're having so much trouble finding coaches that it's a volunteer parent who played until he was into high school.
Exactly.
That's it. And, not to put them down or anything, but it's like you want to learn from good ball players or good coaches right out of the gate because those are the most the best years that are going to help you propel you to your next level.
Absolutely. I totally agree. What I learned in Little League made the transition to 60. I went straight from 60 to 90 feet.
Whoa.
It made that transition not that big of a deal for me because I knew all the X's and O's. Like, I knew when to hit the cut. I knew all the nuances of a baseball player, what I should have known by that age. And a lot of these kids they're showing up to us and they just don't know, by that age, 13, 14, even some of our 16-year-olds don't have some of that knowledge, that baseball knowledge,
that baseball
IQ. And I'm very thankful to the coaches that I had at Coon Rapids for teaching me what I knew. And so yeah, real quickly about my high school career, I played a lot with the older kids when I was younger. I got a chance to play Legion ball with my brother a little bit when I was in 9th grade and he was a senior.
That's crazy, dude. Not many kids get to do that, especially in the big conference like you guys are in.
Absolutely, man. And it helped a lot for me to see what the competition is going to look like in these next few years and what I have to, compete with. And it was really good for my development. as a player. So much so by the 10th grade, I was a starting outfielder for Spring Lake Park as a sophomore. Hit probably between 300 and 400 both my sophomore and junior year as a starter.
Nice, man.
Didn't really pitch much. Senior year came, and I was pretty sick for the most of my senior year. I was something with my tonsils. So I didn't hit very well. I hit like 150, I think, my senior year. But out of nowhere, I just started dicing people up on the mound, man. I ended up winning all conference as a pitcher. That's awesome. Yeah. I didn't do it with much velocity. I threw like 80 miles per hour. It was just straight location. I had a good curveball.
Keeping them off balance.
Yep. And I was lucky enough. Shout out Antonio Zapata. I had the same catcher for like 5 years straight.
Well, that helps.
And me and him just had continuity. Yes. He called a great game. He knew exactly what I wanted. Wherever he wanted the location, I put it there, and that's all we needed to be successful. And
sweet.
Yeah. Again, so this is two things. This is gonna kind of transition to what I harp on with all my players that I train. I didn't get very many looks in college because I did not hit the gym.
Oh.
I could have thrown faster than 80 miles per hour if I would have hit the gym. And there's three things, actually.
Why didn't you hit the gym?
Well, that's a good question, Gabe.
Well, I'm just asking. No, I'm asking for the crowd.
That's a great question. I thought baseball was a sport that you didn't need to lift in. I was somewhat of a lazy kid, a little bit. I had a little bit of I was skinny fat in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't like to work too hard. I liked playing sports a lot. I just did not like to work hard. I did not like to put my muscles through, fatigue and
you didn't like feeling that fatigue.
No, absolutely not.
Going home sore.
And I just didn't think you needed to be. Look how good I already told you how good I was doing as a 9th and 10th grader. And so I just thought my skills would carry me through that, all the way to college baseball. I thought just my skills would carry through that. And it didn't. Everyone started catching up to me because all the other kids who were playing football were in the weight room and they were getting stronger and their velocity was going up at the plate and throwing.
Do you think, your early successes, obviously playing at Spring Lake Park, like as a 9th and 10th grader, being able to play up at that level and see that competition, like maybe, desensitize you to that situation where you're kind of like, oh, I'm already here.
Yeah.
So absolutely. I'm not going to work as hard.
Absolutely. I thought if I'm already good enough to start as a 10th grader, my talent is good enough and I can just rely on my talent. And it definitely made me stop working hard. I was working somewhat hard. I was definitely working harder with my skills. I was getting baseball training. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't taking the next step by getting in the weight room and getting my velocities up. My skill was great. My velocity was not.
And when you were playing, like that was a big thing, but now it's like turned into like
it's even bigger.
Your bad exit velocity and your throwing velocity, whether you're an outfielder, infielder, or a pitcher, like that's become
huge.
How they scout you now.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like for our older players, it's like, okay, we need to put focus on that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we want you to still be accurate with things because I'm kind of halfway in between on that whole, thought process that Major League Baseball has gone to, but. They won't take a look at you if you're only a righty throwing 80 miles an hour, like you were saying.
Absolutely.
Nowadays, like they probably would a little bit then, but not anything now.
Absolutely. They're looking for probably at minimum 85 miles per hour from the mound and off the bat. Off the tee, minimum 85 miles per hour.
Depends on your position. Depends a little bit. We can get into that a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
I know Cricky's gonna want to.
Exactly.
He'll go methodical on us.
Moral of the story is, me personally, I left a lot on the table velocity wise from not getting into the gym, and that's when people caught up to me. I was still good, velocity wise. I wasn't dominating anyone with my velocity, so that could have been a huge help, was getting into the gym. That would help my velocity a lot.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit, like obviously you went to high school, you were all conference pitcher, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, and then what happened after high school? Like did you continue playing?
So
what'd you do?
So this was the second point I was going to make. I did not reach out to any coaches. If you're not really, really good, if you're not top 50, top 100 player in your state, you have to reach out to the coaches.
And how do you do that?
That's a good question. That's something that I'm getting even better and better at. But honestly, a good start is literally just emailing, or, a lot of these coaches have social medias, Twitters, Instagram. So if you have your own Twitter, Instagram, and we'll go over that stuff another time as well. Just reaching out to the coach and saying, hey, this is who I am. Maybe sending out some of your velocities like we talked about, maybe videos of yourself.
They definitely want to see videos.
They want to see videos because they're not going to just believe you if you tell them their velocity. Not only do they want to see videos of you just hitting and throwing and doing your stuff on field maybe, they want to see proof that you got that velocity. So if you start getting towards that point where you're getting recruited and you want to go to college to play baseball, make sure your videos make sure your velocity recordings have video proof, so you can show the coaches. But so just reach out to the coaches any way you possibly can. We can talk about that again in another episode. But we're trying to be a little bit more general here. I didn't reach out to any coaches. I wasn't throwing 90 miles per hour, so nobody showed up. I'm sure I could have reached out if I wanted to, but as soon as I got accepted to the U of M, that was my dream school. I just, I said, screw it. I'm more worried about, again, that this is to my third point. I was more worried about just having fun, going to U of M and experiencing that party life at the U of M. You know what I mean?
The football, the basketball games.
It was a great time. I'm sure
you had fun.
It was a great time. I'm sure I would have had just a little bit more fun playing college baseball, I think.
Yeah, being with the guys.
But
with the crew.
This is the thing. I think this is my story. I think my story is to, just kind of teach people.
But didn't you play a little bit in college, like club baseball?
So I played club baseball at the U of M, which I thought was, high level baseball. I would compare it. They would always.
Who would you guys play?
We would play DePaul University's NDSU's club team. We played Wisconsin's.
And there's still good ball players on those teams.
For sure. It's all kids like me who probably could have played D3, community college baseball, low level college baseball.
Yeah.
Decided they'd rather go to a big university and just have fun. And
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there was a bunch of great guys that we played against. It was a great time.
What was the fastest pitcher you saw on those club teams?
On the club teams, I've seen faster outside of that, like in town ball and stuff. Yeah. But
which is what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah,
because you still play.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out East Bethel Bandits. It was just a very consistent between 80 and 85, I would say. Maybe once in a while you'd see the high 80s in the club ball, but it was a very consistent 80 to 85, I would say.
Still hard to hit off.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they have a good slider.
Absolutely. We did have this one kid on our team who threw knuckleballs only. It was like 60 miles per hour knuckleballs.
Goodness, Tim Wakefield.
Exactly. Exactly. That was a cool kid. But yeah, so then, like Gabe was alluding to, I still play town ball baseball, amateur baseball for the East Bethel Bandits in the Eastern Mini League. Minnesota takes...
Town ball is crazy.
Yes, Minnesota takes it really serious out here. It's, I would consider...
That's Class C ball, and we'll get into all that.
It is
stuff.
Class C.
But that's just based off of demographic.
Exactly.
Anyways, where you're at.
There's men's league sports out there. I play men's league basketball. But that's more of just kind of like casual. Nobody really shows up to watch the games or whatever. These amateur town ball baseball games, Gabe knows, he played for Coon Rapids town ball team. They take it pretty serious. There's fans. Some places will have concession stands.
There's some ex-major leaguers in some of those.
Absolutely.
Class C ball
Corey Koski's in what does he play for? The Sartell Ponies.
What?
Corey Koski plays for Sartell.
Oh, isn't his son on the team? That's why he plays?
He does have sons on the team. So there's plenty of great competition in this league as well. I've seen lefty low 90s from Alex Farley. I think he played for the U of M. At one point.
Didn't he? He went to Anoka, right?
Anoka or Blaine, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll see this episode or not. But we were playing Blaine Fusion in town ball, and we were getting no hit in like the 7th inning.
Oh, is that the game I showed up and then
No,
different game?
Different game. This is like 2-3 years ago.
Okay.
We are down to our last inning because they're 10 running us, and Alex Farley's pitching. I can barely even see the ball. Kids throwing 90 on the corner. I can barely see the ball.
High spin rate.
You know those lefties too. They got crazy spin on their balls.
Oh yeah.
And I just stuck my bat out there, stuck my bat out there, hit a line drive right down the right field line, got our team's only hit of the game, broke up the no-hitter, which was nice.
Got to do that.
That's the fastest pitcher I've seen and got a hit off of.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of the extent of my career. Again, I'm still playing both baseball and basketball to this day. The baseball is a lot more serious, but that's my favorite thing to do in this world. You know, I love coaching, I love training, I love hanging out with friends, whatever, grabbing a beer here now and then, and but I would say playing sports is my passion.
Absolutely.
Still to this day, even though I'm getting old, I'm not playing professionally, but I just love competition. I love sports.
You're good, man. You're 25. You got plenty of time.
Absolutely.
That brings me to next question. Why did you decide to become a professional trainer with Complete Athlete? Like the main reason why. Some guys just kind of find themselves here. We'll see. We'll talk about that later.
Man. So, you know, I think it's pretty funny. I would say the main reason why I became a trainer is because I was in a point in my life where I really just hated life. I hated my job. I was doing DoorDash, I think.
You were crushing it at DoorDash.
Yeah, I was doing great, man. I was doing great. Serving people their food. Nothing wrong with you if you're doing a DoorDash, but
it's tough now with gas prices these days.
Jeez, man. You and me have talked about this before, but yeah, so Gabe just...
Yeah, how did... I honestly forget how that happened. I know we were working out of the warehouse and everything, but like...
This guy, man, he saved me, man. He got me out of just a boring life, and I wasn't really doing much with my life, just chilling. I was still playing sports, but...
Yeah.
You know, you asked me to be a trainer because you just started this new thing, and you're looking for new trainers, and thought I'd be... good person to ask, and you know, I was like, of course. You know, I've coached before. I've coached the Legion team at Spring Lake Park. I've coached for Joe Boyce's club team before, and I enjoyed doing those things. So I knew that this was baseball, something I love to do. Helping out the youth was just something I've noticed that over the years I've you know, seen that's what it's important to me. Basically, what I'm trying to say here. It's become a growing importance in my life is what I was trying to say. And so, yeah, when you asked me to join, there was a no-brainer. And, you know, it was just a few shifts here and there to begin with. But, man.
Yeah, it was just here and there. And I think we're coming up on your 2 years in January, right?
I think it was December, honestly.
Was it December?
I think it was December. Okay. So we are coming up on the 2-year anniversary, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, you've been through thick and thin with me and
absolutely,
Ricky.
Yeah. Been there since pretty much the beginning. I feel very blessed to be a part of this, and you know, I'm very thankful to Gabe for giving me this opportunity. But yeah, it literally just happened out of the blue, and it was.
And you're really good at training, by the way.
Thank you, appreciate that.
You get so many compliments from parents, and the kids like look up to you like. You know, like little Tyson Lutz. Yeah. Like that kid just loves
man.
You, man.
I got this Starbucks.
Did you sign him a baseball too?
I signed a baseball for him. He bought a jersey with my number and name on it.
And he's only 44 now, right?
Yeah, he's only going to be number 44 for
at
coach.
10. He's 44.
I love it. I'm basically like a professional player to him. He looks up to me a lot, and he's not the only one. I actually got this Starbucks paid for me by one of the parents who's got me a gift card from Starbucks because she's just happy with you know how I did with her son. But
because you're instilling like you know a passion at an early age for kids when you know sometimes a lot of these kids are just going through the motions because their mom and dad are just telling them, hey, it's baseball season, let's go practice. But when you're in sessions, like you're engaging with them and you're getting something out of them that they probably couldn't see themselves before.
Absolutely. And it's a baseball thing, but it's a life thing. It's a lot of these kids don't have very many instances in their life where they are feeling confident in themselves. It's a self-image issue that we all have, you know what I mean?
All of us.
And a lot of these kids are dealing with it with social media, and the pandemic kind of messed a lot of these kids up. And through baseball, where I'm doing my best to just instill confidence in these players, and that's when you start to see the passion grow, and that's when you start to see them smile more and most of these kids are enjoying baseball more, but in general, they're just enjoying life more because, they see that I'm passionate about it, and then I bring out some of that passion in them through some confidence that I'm, seeing in them. And yeah, man, it's such a rewarding job.
I
love
every
it.
day. Whenever I pop in, like towards the end of a session or the start of a session, like I can just see kids like that are just like super excited and want to go work on the things that you're teaching them in sessions. Like that's the main thing that we want to do as a staff is like actually give these kids the tools so that they can improve on their own outside of sessions, because we know how baseball is. Consistency and focus
absolutely
wins,
the progression goes faster when you're doing work outside of the training sessions, and,
exactly,
and that's not going to happen unless the kid's momotivated and passionate about something, whether it's baseball itself or just the process of getting better, in general. I think it's one of the main things that we focus on, and why we're pretty successful since we've started. And we've gotten a lot of positive reviews. It hasn't been just me, it's been the whole company. I'm super proud of that, and I can't wait to see where it's going to continue to go.
Yeah, man. What are your like current goals with Complete Athlete, and then also just yourself on the other side overall, and like what would you say your purpose is?
Well, so I can kind of tie that all together. My purpose in life, and it's definitely changed a little bit, and I've gotten more passionate about this, but really it is just to improve the mental and physical strength of those around me, and particularly the youth, because I would say it's a very important time in their life. What you deal with growing up as a child is very indicative of what
middle school and high school are tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's very tough. It sets you up for life. It really does. And my whole goal is to I just want people to be happy. I'm somebody who's always kind of struggled with mental health, and I have noticed that the more you work on your physical side, sports or just getting in the gym,
get those endorphins going.
Absolutely, man, it helps mentally so much. And just moving. Absolutely. There's so many things that go into it, but my passion is just to get people have a better self-image of themselves, and that usually goes hand in hand with the physical and mental side. You gain confidence the more you get better at something physically, whether it's a sport, or the stronger you get, the better you look. And at the end of the day, it makes the game of baseball more fun, which makes life more fun. It makes life more enjoyable when you can get more out of something that you really care about, which is playing a sport. And
instead of going through the motions.
Absolutely. Like what I mean? Nobody likes striking out in baseball, but nobody likes striking out in life either. So, it's just a passion of mine. It's a goal of mine to not only improve the physical and mental health of myself, but to be an example and to help improve the mental and physical health of those around me, and especially the youth, because I was them one day, or in the past. I was young and I was dealing with stuff, and there's a lot of things I wish I would have known at that age that I know now. And I think it's very important that these kids learn from, if they don't learn from their own mistakes, it's even better if they can learn from someone else's mistakes. And that's one of my huge goals with life and Complete Athlete in general. I would like to get a little specific with a specific goal that I'm working on right now.
Okay.
So I'm working on the 90 mile per hour formula.
Yeah.
Coach Gabe has heard about this.
Who started that?
This is Dr. Heenan.
Oh, Dr.
So shout out Dr. Heenan. Hopefully, maybe he sees this. The 90 mile per hour formula, it's a list of, movements that if you can achieve with good formula, you should be able to throw and hit the ball 90 miles per hour.
Like workout movements.
Workout movements. And one of them's long toss, 300 feet. And the other one is a minimum body weight requirement. You guys can look this up. I don't want to go through the specifics of it. But, I'm like 75% of the way there.
How long have you been working on it?
I've been working on it for probably about 2 months now.
Okay.
But basically, the whole idea is not only do I want to have more fun playing the sports I love, and I think I'll have more fun with my velocities go up. But yeah, this is the first time I've really been in the gym in the correct way my whole life, and I really want to see where it goes. Not only for myself, because one of my goals is to improve myself, but I also want to kind of use myself as an example for our kids. Like, hey, if you get yourself in the gym and you work smart towards a specific goal, you will see great benefits from it. You know what I mean? And the 90 mile per hour formula is a great example of just, baseball players need a lift. It's a huge misconception that, the trend is starting to change, but baseball players need to lift. It's a huge passion of mine recently. And, I'm excited to see where my velocity goes. But I'm also excited to show my players, if you put the work in, the results will show. And that's not just skills, it's the weights too. You got to be able to lift and use these movements that are very similar to our baseball movements. Like a big one is lunging. Lunging is huge in baseball, and running, throwing, and hitting a baseball. There's a lot of lunging going on. And that's one of the parts of the formula, the 90 mile per hour formula. So that's what I've been working on. And hopefully by next summer, I'll have hit that. And I'm a little bit more focused on just hitting the formula, and not necessarily hitting 90 miles per hour, because I think I have a lot of just, pains and limitations.
I guess you are getting old.
I am getting a little old. So my goal is to just get to like 85, I would say, miles per hour. But I'm really excited about hitting those metrics. Like, I'm really excited about getting to a 400-pound deadlift. That I think,
All right, we're gonna hold you to it, man.
Yeah,
you better be working at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there, man. You'll see. And I'll be posting these transformations and these videos.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to, in the show notes, we'll have to post like where we can find you and everything, and I'll ask you that at the end. Wanted to go on to like, what's your daily routine like? Like, what's your ideal day of like where you feel the most accomplished of things that you've gotten done?
Yeah,
and everything?
Yeah. So I had a really good routine this summer. It's changed a bit with school starting, as you know. I used to work pretty much 9 to 4, and in that range. It wasn't perfect all the way through, but it was from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. around that range, and it's completely flipped since school started to 4 to 9.
Yep.
So my routine in the summer was really just wake up, go to work, and then I'd get home, eat, go to the gym, and then just chill for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Now I'm trying my best to get into a better routine. The good days, I'll wake up at 9 or 10. I'll go to the gym right away, get back from the gym, eat, and, just chill, work on something or whatever until I start work at 4 or 5 with Complete Athlete. But then there's other days where I can't get out of bed till noon. I don't have a training session with my personal trainer, so it's more on myself to get to the gym.
Absolutely.
And those days, it's like 50-50 whether or not I get up and actually go to the gym myself, or if I just kind of sit in bed.
How many days a week do you try and hit the gym?
Right now, I'm probably steady sitting at 4 to 5 times a week, which is really good for me.
That's really good.
It's really good for me. Best I've ever done in my life. Yeah. So I'm still proud of myself, you know what I mean? But I could do a little bit better. There's 1 or 2 days a week where I just can't get out of bed. And back to the mental health thing. It's every single morning I think I struggle with my mental health. And if I do go to the gym, I instantly feel better. Instantly. I feel accomplished, and the rest of my day just seems to go a lot smoother. But if I somehow can't get out of bed, or if I can't get out of the house to go to the gym, the rest of my day is usually crap. It usually is, I feel lazy. I feel unaccomplished. I feel mentally like foggy.
No, I get what you're saying, because like I know the days that for myself is like when you work out before training sessions or just being at the training facility and everything, you have that energy like that to be able to, influence the player that you're training.
I have a lot of energy mentally and like spiritually, but I'm usually pretty tired or physically sore from my lift, but it makes me feel proud of myself. So that gives you energy in itself. But yeah, you're totally on the right page. It makes training sessions better.
That brings me into my next question for you. while you're in training sessions. So if you got that lift done, you go to training sessions. Like, how would you say, like, what's your favorite training tool that you use with the boys for like, or the players with hitting or pitching? Do you have one?
Well, I have two answers for you. One of them is kind of a cliche answer, and it's my voice.
Oh, okay.
Me just talking to them.
Yeah. No, but seriously, how you communicate to you.
Absolutely. I feel like I try my best to not only bring that inspiration out of them, the motivation out of them with my words, but I also make sure they understand why we're doing every single thing we're doing.
Yeah.
Whether it's dynamics, whether it's our bands, whether it's a specific Jagger band movement. I explain to them exactly what is going on, so I'm just constantly talking their ear, and I bet you a lot of these kids just tune me out most of the time.
I see it on their faces all the time. I'm not doing the same thing.
Yep, and once in a while I have to say their name and be like, hey, pay attention, but it's whatever. I just want them to, I'm almost like a podcast going on in their ear right as they're doing them, because I want them focused on the movements, right?
Well, yeah, because practice doesn't make perfect. It's good practice makes, some perfection, and it's the process that you're going through. Like, you're just trying to rush through every little thing you're doing every drill. Motions. Like, how's that making you better?
It's not.
And I know when you stop them, like, that is a huge moment, because either they decide that they're just going to go through the motions and their parents are bringing them in, and that's just going to be every single session, or they're going to zero in and focus and get it done the right way.
Yeah, that usually shows me how the session's going to go, is how they're going to warm up in the beginning, and if they're focused, if they're doing their bands correctly, if they're taking their time, just not going through the motions.
Dude, the bands thing is the biggest thing.
That's huge, man.
So many of these kids, well, I didn't start doing that stuff until college.
Same.
Actually, Jamestown, so like that was even after. I did other band stuff, but not Jagger band stuff until, my junior year at Jamestown. But so many kids, they just hold on to the band and they don't put it on their wrist. Like that thing, it's a big bugaboo, but like, you're working different muscles then. You're working muscles that aren't baseball muscles.
Absolutely. It's the mind to muscle connection that I always talk about. Some of the younger kids, they probably get annoyed because I touch them on the head and I touch them on the back of their muscle, like in the specific muscle that needs to be worked. Because I literally will touch their brain with my finger, and then I'll touch their scap muscles, like on their back, and so that they can have that brain, that muscle to, or mind to muscle connection, because they need to understand they need to understand what is going on, because otherwise they're just going to go through the motion and they're going to do the wrong muscles, and that could lead to injuries. It could lead to them just not getting the progression that they should be getting, and we don't want that, right? So
all part of the training process.
So like I said, my voice is huge, but I would say my favorite actual equipment to use is a tee. Because, first of all, most kids don't know how to really properly use a tee and get a lot out of it.
Yeah, they're just going through the motions.
Yeah, but as soon as I heard that Byron Buxton and Luis Ariz, that's their main source of batting practice during the season, it really it got me to really believe in the tee even more than I already did. And it's because you can put any situation that you want. You can recreate any situation. Say you struck out on a certain pitch, 2-strike count. You were thinking it's an outside pitch, and he busted a fastball high and inside on you. Because you're not going to play out front with that pitch, right? You're going to protect. You're going to protect mode. So you go on the tee. You put yourself in protect mode. You put the high and inside pitch later or closer towards the catcher so that you can't extend out front. And you're working how to still hit that pitch that you struck out on in a 2-strike count in that specific situation.
So you're overemphasizing it in order to get the desired result?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because as a BP thrower, even if you have a machine, it's not going to put it in the exact spot that you want every single time, the exact location and the exact timing of where you're supposed to hit it.
100%. Even though Sam James Crick would probably disagree with you. He thinks he can put it anywhere.
That guy's a stud BP thrower. But even then, I still believe if MLB players who probably have the best resources of BP that could be thrown to them,
100%.
if even
they
them,
got the trainers, they got everything.
If even Luis Ariz is saying, but no, I can get even more specific on the tee.
Well, yeah.
Then that just proves that like
tee work
is great work
above all.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't say above all, but this is the thing I say to
It's
the players.
the progression, though, like the starting point.
Just because you're good on the tee doesn't mean you're going to be good in the game.
Oh, 100%.
But I guarantee you, all the MLB players, all the elite college players that are elite at hitting, they are all good at the tee. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a tool that you got to be able to learn,
You can use
right.
And you can use it on your own, too. You don't need anybody else.
You don't need anybody. You can do it on your own. And if you know what you're looking for and you're doing specific drills that are working on a specific mechanic, you can be responsible for your own self. You can be your own coach and work on the tee on yourself, especially if you're videotaping yourself.
See, that's the stuff. I mean, I did work on some hitting back in the day, but at a younger age, kind of like we were talking about before the show and everything, like, I wish at that point in time I would have taken myself a little more seriously. And you were kind of talking about that yourself at the start too. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you have a process of how you're doing things and you stick to that and you're consistent, and I mean, that's the main thing that we've been driving here, consistency and focus. This
goes to an analogy that I always use in my training sessions. So many, and I can relate to this too. My brother can relate to this too. A lot of people are into video games, right? A lot of kids are into video games, okay? A huge part of my life has been video games. But if you can somehow make your life and treat it somewhat like a video game, like the aspect of like missions and goals and your progression as a character. Because you start as level 1, and then you start to branch off, and you start to learn skills that kind of branch you away from your character, and it builds you into you either become you specialize in one skill, and you start specializing in another skill.
You got that 98 overall rating.
Absolutely, yeah. You put all your VC in there, and all
you
your
level
currency.
up after every single mission. Wow.
Absolutely. No, I love
and each mission could be like a season, right?
Exactly, man. There's so many different real world ways you can make these analogies, and all these kids understand video games. Most of them understand video games. And it's very easy. I just had a kid who stayed home sick from school. He said he played video games for 10 hours before his session. Oh, my. And his session didn't go very well. I wonder why. But
goodness.
Kids have no problem putting 10 hours into a game. Yeah. A video game. But they don't. It's really hard for people to put 10 hours into especially a life skill.
Days, for sure.
Like baseball or something. I mean, if you put 10 hours a day into baseball, you'd probably get worse. You'd overdo it. But
you don't want to go crazy.
But the problem is that they're way too willing to put the time in for something that's not really going to pay off unless you're going to be a streamer or unless you're going to make money from it and be a professional gamer. Yeah. It's fun to you, but you I don't think it's as fulfilling as, say, hitting a home run in real life.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life is hit a home run. And video games are fun and all, but playing baseball at a high level is way more fun, I think. And if you can somehow get these kids to look at life and sports in a video game way, I think it will make them, it'll make it easier for them to...
Yeah, I'm going to have to take that.
Yeah. That's good. I think it's good, man. Because they all relate to video games, right? So
no, they do. They're always talking about, and I remember coaching this last spring, and all the kids, like, before the games, they're on their phone. Mm-hmm. I don't know what video games they're playing. Dude, some of them may be sports, but usually sports stuff is on the TV.
Dude, all my 13-year kids, they're playing Fortnite and stuff. When we're talking about Fortnite, they're playing Stumble Guys or something on their phones.
I don't even know what that is.
It's crazy, man.
There's so many games.
And it's like, dude, we're literally playing a baseball game in 20 minutes and you're on the bench playing a video game on your phone. It's crazy, man. We're
going to have to put some stop to that.
Yeah, absolutely. But
so I do have one or two final questions here.
Yep, absolutely.
We are running out of time, but this has been really good talk.
Yeah.
What do you think the baseball world will look like in 10 years? Because it's drastically changed over the last 2 decades, even 3 decades.
That's such a good question.
I mean, with all the rule changes and I know the shift we're getting rid of that and stuff, but what do you think? All the numbers and the data has been big the last decade, probably the last 5 years more so, but.
Well, we've just seen some crazy rule changes, to make the game a little bit faster pace, they got the pitch
clock next year.
Yeah, all that stuff. Anyways, I think we're going to see probably a little bit more of that, some more rule changes to make MLB in itself to be a little bit more faster paced and more appealing, because it's a little bit of a dying sport for our youth, because everything's so instant gratification right now, and baseball is a little bit of a slower game.
Slower development.
I'm sure a lot of people have heard of the Savannah Bananas.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're going to see a little bit more of that, even maybe in minor league systems. You might even start seeing that, because, we all remember Saints before they became part of the Twins organization. They didn't do as much stuff on the field, obviously, but it was about making the experience fun for the fan, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think we're going to see more and more of that in baseball to make the fans a little bit more engaged.
Yeah, and Savannah Bananas, they're independent ball, but they play semi-seriously still. Like, I don't know if they're actually scored games.
I think you can start comparing them to more of like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, that sounds
but
about right.
They absolutely could compete with any sort of Northwoods League team or like semi-pro team.
Yeah, because all those guys played D1 or they played some minor league ball.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, it was just they're done with the professional side of it, but they still want to be involved in the game.
Yeah, and what I noticed with those guys, a lot of them do training as well.
Oh,
they'll train the locals around there. So they're making money playing baseball and training, and
there you go,
making content and stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely with the TikToks and the Instagram.
So I feel like we're gonna see a lot more of that. We're gonna see. I don't know how they could get more emphasis on the Statcast era. Like the velocities of everything and tracking all the balls and stuff like that. That's a good question. I think they're gonna allow more and more celebrations, more and more people celebrating their home runs, pimp jobs, and.
How do you think the umps are going to feel about that?
It is what it is. They might even not even be there anymore.
I know.
They might have robot umps
last year. They'll just have the zone.
I hope not.
Yeah.
As much as I hate umpires, man, I hate umpires, most of them.
Man, you hate your dad, dude?
No, he's a great umpire. See, this is the reason why I like him, is because he's willing to admit his mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be like, hey, I might have missed that one. That's my bad. But
my bad,
most of these umpires, they get power trip, man. Power trip.
Yeah, that's another day. We'll talk about that another day.
But I still think it's part of the game. I still think it's completely changing the game by taking them out.
Well,
and they're already pretty freaking good.
It's the human element that baseball always has been, as America's great pastime. It's like, you take that out, what are we? I don't know. I'm kind of more on the lines of where you're at, just not necessarily.
If you watch an MLB game, they have the box there.
I know. Sometimes they don't, though. On certain stations, they won't have the box there for a bit and then replay.
I feel bad for the umpires when they have that.
I know, because it makes every little call.
The crazy thing is that people will get outraged on a ball that's out by like an inch or two from the box. It's like an inch or two, and it's like, yeah, we see that he missed the call, but it's like, that's close enough where you could like see how they could call that. But I don't. Other than that, I don't really know.
There's going to be some changes here and there.
They're not going to do less baseball games. I'm sure they're going to keep messing with the playoff structure.
Yeah. What do you think of the current playoff structure?
I wish they would have just.
What is it? 3-5-5.
3-5-5-7. I wish they would have done 3-5-7-7.
Or is it 3-5-7-7? I actually
Nope. It's 3-5-5-7.
Really?
Yep. They
For
didn't.
The championship series?
The American League Championship Series is going to be 5 games.
Really? Is that new this year?
That's new. It was one.
Is it because there's an extra series?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
No, well, so it was 1 instead of 3.
Yep.
It was just 1 game for the wild card. It was 1-5-7-7. Now it's 3-5-5-7. So they're not taking any games out. It's still the same amount of games, but
it's just extra series.
Yeah, it's weird.
Gotcha.
I kind of want to answer this question like with the youth level really quick, like how it's going to change. I think Little League is going to be less and less. In the States.
We've talked about
traveling
that,
is going to be king. I think Legion ball, unfortunately, Legion and VFW is going to be less and less of a thing. I think, and this is not saying what I want. I'm a huge fan of Little League and Legion ball. I think that was some of the best baseball I've ever played.
Absolutely.
But I think that's just a fact. It is what it is. I think even there's a chance that high school baseball, because Minnesota high school baseball is not great because of the weather.
Oh, 100%. You can lose half your season,
or
a month of the season right at the start.
I think because of that, there's going to be some kids who might not even play school ball, and they're just going to play club ball so that they can play
We're already
all year
seeing
round.
it, yeah.
So that they can, instead of playing in 40-degree weather in Minnesota in May, they can go down to whatever, Vegas.
Minnesota a long time ago should have adopted what Iowa does. They just do their, obviously it takes, the problem is like when one league goes away, then it eats into another, or, you know, or one pops up, it eats into another.
I get it.
You know, Little League, traveling, club ball, high school ball, VFW Legion.
But this is the problem. This is the Legion season always ended like early August anyways.
Yep.
So there's no reason why I can't go into a little bit of, but you know, it's the tough part about playing multiple sports. High school season would be
May, June, and then by that time it's July 4th. Like, when do you do playoffs after July 4th? You know, I don't know.
It's tough. It's definitely tough, but at the end of the day, there's a way to figure it out so that kids aren't practicing half their season indoors. They're not playing a 10-game regular season for what was supposed to be the most important baseball of their lives to that point is high school baseball, and it's just not. It's not great. It's not great quality. You know, you don't want to see metal bats breaking in a game. That's a problem.
Oh,
that's an issue.
No, I didn't see that this year. But
that did happen.
I've definitely heard. Wait, when did you hear that?
I just saw it on social media and stuff. I don't think I saw it.
It happens when it's cold. That's for sure. All right, we've been having a good talk here. I don't even want to end this, but I know we got another one.
Yeah, you got to do another one here soon.
But where can listeners find you online?
Yeah, so right now I have a Instagram for my coaching page. It's kind of my trainer's page or whatever. Coach Mason Price on Instagram. I'm going to be posting my progress through the 90 mile per hour formula on there. I have some old videos of me going through some of the knees over toes program through the ATG. Shout out them.
We're going to have to go more in depth the next podcast we have. And we barely touched the surface.
I have so much I could talk about.
I didn't realize it was going to, just fly by like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first one we're doing, right? It's just a little bit of a test run.
Not really, man. I thought it went really good.
I totally agree. Just real quick, I'm going to be posting my progress on there with the 90 mile per hour formula. And then I'm also going to be posting probably here soon some of like my favorite success stories out of the kids I've trained. I've asked their parents or them specifically if it's okay if I post videos of them and
like side-by-side videos and
side-by-side videos, side-by-side of the charts of them, their velocities going up.
Oh yeah. No, that's something that we've been talking about for a long time now.
Yeah. Like for example, Jordan Sandoval, I think that'd be a great success story to post, just to show his numbers, video, and then his new videos of himself, and then his new numbers because he jumped crazy this summer.
We're gonna have to like go through like all the kids that like in a podcast even like talking about.
Absolutely, man. I would love to do a spotlight episode on some of these kids.
Oh yeah,
these kids are awesome.
Some of these kids that are in high school we're gonna have on these episodes.
Sweet, so can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm interested to hear what they have to say.
Yeah,
if anything,
it's gonna be interesting. We got some pretty funny characters on our team, but I'm probably gonna make a TikTok soon for my. I don't want to, but it's probably smart if I make that for some more reels and stuff. But just check me out, Coach Mason Price, and it's been fun, man. This is
absolutely. And then also for inquiries, like if people want to work with you, like Mason at CompleteAthleteTraining.com.
Yep, yep, absolutely. Mason at CompleteAthleteTraining.com. You can email me. You can find me on our website, CompleteAthleteTraining.com.
Yep, a little bit of your bio and everything.
Yep, and
everything that we do on there.
Yeah, you can try and book through there. Absolutely.
Sweet. Thanks for having you on, man.
Thanks for having me
This was a great first episode.
Yep. Thank you for everything, man. All right.